So there was this record store in Berkeley, Leopolds, records and tapes, and I worked there. And well, you can see there were records in the window and records on the airplay all through the store. So we had a store downstairs, store upstairs, and then I was out on the street and I passed out pamphlets. And I was out there, rain or shine. Yep, out there passing out pamphlets. Leopold's records and tapes. And it was on 2518 Durant Avenue, right on Telegraph in Berkeley. And we had, there was kind of a organic, that wasn't organic, but vegetables. They had a big vegetable fruit stand where they made blended drinks across the street. And, then they had the coffee shop, the Renaissance coffee shop was there, and that was good. Rusty worked there. And then they had the Dirty Rainbow, which was an art store, and they sold art supplies. And then we had the record store. And I would make these pamphlets up, and sometimes I'd have an artist draw them up, and sometimes I'd make them up myself. I'd pass them out on the street and talk to people and try to get everybody up to the store, and just was trying to get people past that Tower Records. Tower Records was kind of a big chain of records, and they sat up next to Leopold's, and they tried to drive Leopold's out of business, and we fought back. We were the non-profit. We were the community record store, and we were the community record store. We gave a lot of money to start a lot of things in Berkeley. Clubs and La Pena Restaurant and Starry Plow Club, and oh my God, we even gave money to the Black Panthers and the breakfast program for kids, and it was just money, money, money. And we made a lot of money, we gave away a lot of money. Leopold's records and tapes. I don't think there's been anything like it since. And here I am today in Connecticut, sick as a dog, and all I got to do is sit around the house and remember what I did. Get out some of those old pamphlets. My job was kind of introducing country music. Country and rural music to city folks. But you know what? There were a lot of rural folks who had been transplanted more or less to Oakland, California, which was next door to Berkeley, California, and they would come over to Leopold's and buy a lot of country music. As a matter of fact, the big country stars played Oakland Coliseum out there. I saw Marty Robbins, I saw Merle Haggard. My God, they all played there, and they were all big, and I enjoyed it. And people came with me, and I went with them, and we went to shows together. And Freight and Salvage, that was a folk club. We enjoyed going there. It was Leopold's Records and Tapes, 2518 Durant Avenue. That's what we did then. I passed out pamphlets. I got to know people, and people got to know me. You know what? And I just stood out there, rain or shine, stood out there and let people get to know me, and I got to know them. And it was one of the best times of my life. Leopold's Records and Tapes. Yep. One of the best times of my life. Some of the best people I ever worked with. Some of the best people I ever knew. Albert Ramirez, Dub, Suzanne, and then there was Billy. Yep. Arthur Mitchell. Yep. They were all there. Leopold's Records and Tapes. One of the best times of my life. And later on, I'd still kept my friendship with everybody that I met at Leopold's and still got to know them and still got to see them again and again. And we talk about the days that we had together and the times that we spent. And boy, those were good times. And I don't think they'll ever be duplicated again. There'll probably nothing be like those times again. Maybe there will be, but maybe not in my lifetime. I'd like to see it where people got together and talked about music and had conversations. Now everybody's just kind of on the cell phone. I guess they text each other, and that's how they talk to each other. But in those days, we'd go to each other's house and listen to music and put out a little music, drink a little glass of wine, sometimes smoke a doob. Yep, listen to some of the greatest music in my life there. Weather Report, the Commodores, my God, it was all there. Stevie Wonder, first time, Michael Jackson's first albums, all came out Leopold's. Everything was going on at Leopold's, and I was part of it. Oh my God, the jazz stuff I never, George Benson, my God, I listened to George Benson over and over and over again. We introduced a lot of music to a lot of people. I introduced my country music, Hazel and Alice, introduced B.W. Stevenson, yep, introduced all that. Introduced folk music, had all the stuff from, it was Rounder Records. Yep, introduced all the Rounder Records, the Carter family, Hank Williams, old stuff that was re-released. I even brought in some imports from Japan. Introduced them, box sets. Yep, we made it happen. And sometimes I miss those times more than anything else because everything was new and everything was exciting and everything was just like, I can't believe this is happening. And have you heard this or have you read that or have you gone there? Yep, that's the way it was then. Yep, 1972 till 1982. Leopolds, records and tapes. 10 years of goodness.